Hello guys, this is going to be a real quick video to teach you about how to use just a real basic button in Android. So it's going to make an application with a button that will make a little toast pop up when you press on it. So to get started, open up your browser, come to this website right here, github.com/foamyguy/Android button example, and click this download zip button down here. Go ahead and download that. Once you get it downloaded, unzip it. You should be looking at, not that one, should be looking at this folder right here. When you unzip it, Android button example master, and then inside there you should see this source, resources, libs, all of this stuff. So once you get it downloaded, we can get it imported into Eclipse. Go ahead and get Eclipse open in your package explorer, right click over here, do an import, open up this Android drop down here, existing Android code into workspace, go ahead and browse, and then find that folder that you just downloaded, which is down this way. Go ahead and find that one. Make sure you do use the folder that has these other three folders right inside of it: source, resources, and libs. You want to make sure those are right below the folder that you pick. Go ahead and click OK, and copy projects into workspace. You can go ahead and click finish there. I already have mine, so I'm going to click cancel, but you could do finish right now. Once you get it, if it comes in and it says main activity right here, do right click, refactor, and rename that, and just rename it button example so you can keep your workspace kind of clear. So then you should have button example. So let's jump into the code. Now there's basically two main things that we need to look at here, and one is the layout where we declared the button. So you can see in the graphical thing here we have just a blank white screen and press here. So that's pretty basic layout, just a single button in the center there. So you can see we start with a relative layout, and inside there we have one child layout, which is a button, or a child view rather. So we got a button. A few things to note here: wrap content for height and width. You can set those to match parent if you want, or set them to whatever size you want with density pixels or whatever. And then we got these other two attributes here: center horizontal and center vertical. So that puts our button into the middle of the screen for us. The text, we set it to a string, button label, and a real important one here, the first one, Android:ID. This is the ID of your button. You need to make sure whatever ID is here, you need to make sure you remember that, because we're going to have to use it in the Java code in order to get a reference to this button. So whatever ID you pick here, it doesn't matter what you pick as long as you can remember it, but you do have to use it in another place too. So make sure that you use kind of a good descriptive name there. So button, that's our layout, really basic layout here. The other part is inside the main activity. So you see inside onCreate, the very first thing that happens in most of your onCreates here is draw the layout for you. So set content view r.layout.activity main. This is just going to draw the layout file for us. Once that layout has been drawn, you can use this method right here, find view by ID, to get a reference to your button. It's very important though that you make sure always set content view comes first, because if you haven't drawn the whole layout, then this method right here is going to return null to you, and that's usually not what you want. So declare button object here. I named it the button. Notice we got to use this cast right here, because find view by ID, basically it looks up a view for us, but it just returns it as a regular view, and we want actually a subclass of view, which is button. We want it, so we have to cast it to button. Then we put r.id and the button. Now this is where that ID that I mentioned a second ago in the layout, this is where that comes into play. You have to make sure you match up this with your ID in the XML layout file. Then the last thing that we have to do is just hook it up so that it does something when the user clicks on it. And so that is kind of weird how we have to set it up, but it'll make sense once you do it a few times. So the button, and we're going to say call a method set onClick listener, which is a method that takes an onClick listener object. So instead of declaring one of those as a variable, we're just going to pass in a new one right here. So we say new onClick listener, and then we're actually going to override the onClick method right here. So this is kind of weird syntax if you never experienced it before. But you'll come to understand it the more you use it. But basically what's going on here is any of the code that you put inside this method right here, public void onClick, whatever code you put inside here is going to get called whenever the user clicks the button. So right now I have toast make text and you press the button. So right now the only thing I'm going to do is show a toast. But you can take this same sample code and put whatever you want right here, and it will launch your code whenever the user clicks the button. So this is a real basic example I'm going to show you just in the emulator here in a moment, just to make sure that everything works. And I hope while we're waiting for this to load up here, I hope you guys found this useful, and if you did, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and check back more for lots of videos like this and some more advanced ones. Because this is a pretty basic one, but I'm kind of working both ends here. We're going to make some advanced, some basic, a little of both worlds. So check back if you like Android development tutorials. And I wish the emulator loaded faster, but here we are finally. So load it up, let's unlock it, make sure we're actually running still. Let's see, main activity. And button example, so here we got our button, press here. Oh, I killed it when I ran it again. That's right, it should come back in 1 second. There we go. So press here is our button, compress it, and you see we get the toast pop up right there. So that's pretty much it for this example. Feel free to take this code and use it in your own projects to kind of hook up your buttons. It's a good example to use. So thanks for watching.